opposite side of the river. The horses, cannon, and baggage would go on to the ferries. The soldiers would go in the boats. The rowing did not commence until 6 p.m. By 10 p.m., a terrible storm rolled in, pelting the men with rain, snow, and ice. The oarsmen had to push large blocks of ice away from the boats. The crossing was not complete until 4 a.m. in the morning. And then the 9-mile march to Trenton began in the face of the blustering storm. General Ewell and Cardwell never made it to Trenton. General Washington, with his 2,400 troops, would be the only attacking force. The Hessians in Trenton had been advised that Washington was planning an attack of some kind. But disregarding this information, after all, no army in the world would cross the treacherous river in such inclement weather. Washington achieved his surprise he had hoped for which allowed his troops to seize high ground and thereby control the battle with their cannons. Within 45 minutes, the fighting was over. Washington's army had captured 900 prisoners and inflicted 100 casualties with only 4 wounded. One of the wounded was a young artillery officer named James Monroe, who would go on to become the 5th president of the United States. The Continental Army had its first and most significant victory of the war. Hoorah!
Hurrah!
8 days later, the Americans would defend Trenton against the British counterattack from Princeton, led by General Cornwallis. The battle was fought to a stalemate at sunset with heavy casualties inflicted on the Crown forces. During the night, the Continental Army quickly slipped out of Trenton for another grueling overnight march, this time to Princeton, where they engaged the rear guard of the British forces. The Battle of Princeton on January 3rd, 1777 was another significant victory for Washington. Hoorah!
Hurrah!
The period from December 25th through January 3rd is known as the 10 Crucial Days, which saved the American Revolution. 5 years later, after the British surrendered at Yorktown, General Cornwallis, meeting with General Washington face to face for the first time, humbly informed the American general that the American Revolution was won the night they crossed the Delaware River. Hoorah!
Hurrah!
Now, let your imagination